In 1975, a man could draw house plans on graph paper at his kitchen table, walk into the county clerk's office, hand over $35, and break ground on his own house by Saturday. His own land, his own hands, his own plans. Today, that same man, on that same land, with the same plans, would be locked out before he ever poured a foundation. 4 traps stop him. Most Americans have never heard of any of them. The first trap is the International Residential Code, the prescriptive rulebook adopted in 49 states. The second is the contractor licensing patchwork, 50 different state systems that grow tighter every legislative cycle. The third is the lender disqualification, the construction loan market quietly closing its doors on anyone without a licensed general contractor on the permit. The fourth is the Energy Code Gauntlet, the compliance audit that demands HVAC engineering math the average homeowner cannot perform without paid help. Together they form a wall around your own property line. None of this was put to a national vote. There was no constitutional amendment, no referendum on whether owner-builders deserved to keep building houses. The right was disassembled piece by piece while everyone was looking somewhere else. The International Residential Code did not exist before the year 2000. 3 regional code organizations merged in 1994 to form the International Code Council, and they published the first IRC in 2000. By 2005, dozens of states had adopted it. Today, the IRC is in use across 49 states, the District of Columbia, Guam, and Puerto Rico. The code book is roughly 400 pages covering structural framing, plumbing rough-in, electrical conductor sizing, mechanical ventilation, and energy conservation. Most state amendments add another 100 pages on top. The code book sits on the desk of every residential building inspector. The owner-builder exemption that survives in many jurisdictions still requires the homeowner to pull the permit personally, supervise every phase of work on site, and pass every inspection the code demands. Miss a single inspection sequence, and the inspector can red tag the framing and order it torn out. A typical municipal ordinance fines unpermitted work between $500 and $5,000 per violation, and each missed inspection counts separately. The code book is the law, the county clerk is the gatekeeper, the inspector is the enforcer. The second trap sits on top of the IRC and tightens it. Every state runs a contractor licensing system, and no 2 states agree on what triggers a license. California raised its threshold to $1,000 in 2025, meaning any project costing more than that requires a licensed contractor unless the owner files for the owner-builder exemption and signs a personal liability disclosure. The threshold sat at $500 from 2005 until that change. Florida runs a stricter paperwork system. Texas runs a looser system. The owner-builder exemption is shrinking in every jurisdiction. If you build with your own hands, hit subscribe. This channel covers the rules that quietly took that right away. In California, the Contractors State License Board enforces the licensing law against anyone advertising or performing work over the threshold. The CSLB runs sting operations across the state, with undercover investigators posing as homeowners hiring unlicensed crews. Penalties run up to $15,000 in administrative fines, plus misdemeanor charges, plus jail time for repeat violations. The owner-builder must sign a disclosure form accepting personal liability for worker injuries, federal tax withholding, and workers' comp insurance for anyone helping. Florida runs the strictest owner-builder paperwork in the country. The owner must appear in person at the local building department, sign an affidavit, accept full liability, and provide direct on-site supervision of every subcontractor. Hire one unlicensed person to act as the contractor of record, and the permit is revoked on the spot. Texas allows a looser owner-builder pathway, with the state preempting most local licensing for residential work. But every legislative cycle, lobbyists for the licensed trades push for tighter rules. The pattern repeats across all 50 states. The owner-builder exemption gets narrower. The penalty schedule gets fatter. The paperwork gets thicker. The third trap closes the money. Construction loans for owner-built houses became extraordinarily rare after the 2008 credit crunch. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the 2 government-sponsored enterprises that buy most American mortgages, set underwriting standards that local lenders follow line by line. Single-closing construction to permanent loan rules require the lender to manage disbursements to a builder, language that pushed local banks away from owner-builder construction loans. Most banks now require a licensed general contractor on the construction loan paperwork as a baseline qualification, regardless of how skilled the homeowner is. The few specialty lenders that still write true owner-builder loans charge higher interest rates and demand larger down payments. The credit market quietly closed its doors on the amateur. A homeowner with full ownership of the lot and a paid-off truck still cannot get a 30-year mortgage to build the house himself. The bank wants a builder it can sue. The homeowner is not that builder. The fourth trap is the IECC, the International Energy Conservation Code. On its 2021 update, Section R402 governs the building thermal envelope, the insulation and air sealing of the entire structure. Section R403 governs the mechanical systems, the heating, cooling, and water heating equipment. Compliance requires manual J-load calculations, the heating and cooling load math performed room by room. It requires manual D-duct sizing, the airflow calculations for the entire HVAC system. It requires a blower door test, a calibrated fan that pressurizes the house and measures the air leakage rate at 50 pascals. Fail the blower door test, and the house will not pass final inspection. The math is graduate-level engineering. The penalty for failing the audit is rebuild. The total compliance cost on a 2,000-square-foot self-built house now runs into the tens of thousands of dollars before the first stud goes up. Permit fees, plan review fees, energy compliance documentation, third-party inspections, contractor backstops on the construction loan. The owner-builder communities that still survive, the Amish, certain rural counties in Texas and Idaho, the Habitat for Humanity volunteer networks, are the last places in America where a man can still build a house with his own hands. They sold it back to you in pieces. Subscribe if you want the laws repealed, the states still worth building in, and the loophole the lobbyists missed. Stop letting them tell you your own land is no longer yours to build on.